Hello everyone and welcome to Nervous Nessie. It is day 6, I believe, of this trip. Yes, it is day 6 and we are doing our last day at Epic Universe. I am very tired, obviously, and I'm also very upset. I just discovered I was getting my backpack ready to go to this last day, and I just discovered my wand is missing. I paid $90 for that wand and it is gone. I have no idea where it is. It's not in my robes. It's not in my backpack that I can find. I was digging pretty fast, but I'm pretty sure that it's gone. I had it yesterday pretty late. The only places I could think of where it could possibly be is either when I was sitting on the steps at the Battle of Ministry. It could have fallen out of my robes there. It could have fallen out of my robes in the Lyft or Uber to get here, or it could have fallen out of the robes when I was sitting waiting on my, I can't remember, Lyft or Uber to pick me up last night at the park. I'm going to go to guest services when I get to the park and see if there is a lost and found, and let them know that I lost my wand, because the wand is paired to me. So hopefully, I think the way it works is if someone were to find it, it would be pretty useless to them unless they just, didn't try to pair it up. But I'm really disappointed about that, because if I can't find it, I wasted the money. Well, I didn't waste the money. I got a lot of fun out of it and everything, but it's like, do I buy another one? Because when am I ever gonna come back here? Or do I just call it a loss and I just got to have a lot of fun doing the spells the whole time? Either way, I'm really disappointed I don't get to take it home with me. But I'm gonna check when I get to the park and see if they have a lost and found. I'm also gonna see if I can reach out to the person that I rode with last night and see if they can check their car. They seem like they would be probably a pretty honest person, and maybe they can get it back to me while I'm here, but very disappointed about that. But I am about to head to the park and see if I can have fun even without my wand. I am in the park and it is fairly late in the day. I tried to shoot a video earlier, and where I was, it was just so loud, just people all around. But I wanted to give you guys an update on what I have done today. So once I got into the park, after doing the lost and found, which the lost and found, the way it works is first of all, they kind of ask a little bit of information, like when did you lose it, where do you think you lost it, blah blah blah, and then they kind of check their inventory to see if they have it. They didn't. After that, then they have a QR code that you scan and you fill out with your information and what you lost. And if they happen to find it, they will mail it to you. Of course, you have to pay for the shipping and stuff. Or if they find it during the day, then, they'll give it to you then. You can also check back. They do suggest check back before you leave the park to see if it's, see if they got it since then. Now, after that, I went and got Starbucks. When you come into the park, there are 2 Starbucks. The park splits. If you go to the right, there is a Starbucks to the right, and it's in a shaded area in the Celestial Park. And it's indoors, but the line gets crazy long, like out the door long. If you don't want to wait, when you come into the park, go to the left, because it splits. Go to the left, and there is a Starbucks sort of hidden. You kind of have to know to look for it. But it's between the Mario Land and the Dark Universe area. Much shorter lines, however it is outside. So if you're getting coffee in the morning, that's probably going to be your best bet. Just, you know, because the sun is not that bright. But if you're getting like maybe second, third, fourth round of coffee during the day, then maybe do the other one, because at least then you'll be inside where it's nice and cool. I got my Starbucks, and then I ended up going to the Harry Potter, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and went to Café L'Air de la Sirène again, but I got breakfast this time. Everything I read online said get the butterbeer crepes. I got the crepe. It does come with a drink of choice, which I got a butterbeer, because I already had my coffee with me from Starbucks. I will say this, for first thing in the morning, it's very, very sweet. The crepe, I have an extreme sweet tooth. Like, my souvenirs for this trip has pretty much been sweets, so I have a very sweet tooth, and the crepe was a little much. It was so sweet that when I would drink my coffee, even though I got a caramel latte, it tasted like regular coffee. That's how sweet it was. Now, if you don't like a lot of sweets, don't get that crepe. If you do like sweets, maybe get it without the whipped cream. I did find it was a little better to scrape off the whipped cream and kind of cut down the sweetness with that. But after I ate, I made my way over to Curse of the Werewolf, because the wait time was really low. It was like, I think, 25 minutes, which was the lowest I had seen it since yesterday. I did the single rider line thinking, okay, it's gonna be half that. Maybe it was the person, but she was just not pulling from the single rider line. She would pull, let's say there's 3 people in the regular line, which means she should pull 1 person from the single rider line. Instead, she would ask, is there any single people back in the regular line, and pull from there. And it's like, did you forget that there's a whole single rider line standing right here looking at you, getting really pissed off? Because the person in front of me was like, I think I should have gotten in the regular line. I said, I know I should have gotten in the regular line, because there were people who got in line, like, I could see them. I could see the line. They got in line and they were already on the ride. I'm like, I could have already been on the ride by now. But it could have just been that one person. As far as that ride goes, I would say if the wait time for that ride is over 30 minutes, don't bother. I was very disappointed. I don't know. I thought that ride had a lot more to it. It got to a point and it stopped, and I thought, oh, well, it's about to start back up again with some more stuff. No, the ride was over. I was like, really? That was it? I don't know. I felt like for the wait time for that ride, there just wasn't much there. Maybe that's just me. I'll say this. I feel like the Monsters Unchained, much better ride, and usually has a shorter wait time. So between the two, if you have to pick, definitely do the Monsters Unchained. Much better ride. From there, I finally made my way over to the How to Train Your Dragon section. At that point, it was just blazing hot and I was tired. So I wanted to do something I could get in the shade. And they had the racers, like flying racers, dragging race, I don't know. It was a racer thing that was in the shade, and it was a 40-minute wait time. Now, this ride, there's 2 different flying mechanism things. Each one holds 12 people. So every time that it goes, 24 people are gonna be out of the line. You would think it would have gone faster. It didn't. It was the full 40 minutes. I think they were pulling everybody from the express line and clearing out the express line before they even pulled from the regular line. The way that it works is you have little controllers where you control the wings, and if you push one wing down lean toward that wing, and then if you push the other wing down, you lean toward that wing, and it'll get it to rocking back and forth to try and get a barrel roll. I was pushing as hard as I could and leaning as hard as I could, and there were times that I was like tilted on my side, but I could never get it to go all the way over. And about the time I was getting enough momentum to get it to go all the way over, the ride was over. It was another one of those that I was just very disappointed for the wait time versus how long the ride was. I feel like they definitely need for that ride to double up how long people are on the ride, because it's very short for how long you have to stay in line. After I got off that ride, I went to go into the Mario Land again, because the Minecart Madness line wait time for that line was low. It was like 120 minutes, which was pretty low considering what I have seen it. So I started over there, and then I saw there was a line to meet and greet with Donkey Kong, and he was gonna come out in 10 minutes. So I jumped in line to do that, and so I had to wait 10 minutes, wait maybe another 3-4 minutes for the people in front of me in the line to get through and meet and do the pictures and stuff. And then I went to get onto the Minecart Madness, and it had jumped from 120 minutes to 220 minutes. 3.5 hours wait time in 15 minutes. That's how much it jumped up. I was like, this is ridiculous. But I thought, there's no way. Like, there's no way that many people got in line in that short amount of time. So I thought I'd chance it and think that maybe it was like the Battle of the Ministry, where it's like, oh, it's a 4-hour wait time. It turns out it was an hour and a half. So I decided to chance it. I got in there, I did the single rider. Now, everything I had read online said don't get in the single rider line because they never really pull from it. But the regular line was outside the ride, like through the park. That's how long it was. I was like, if I'm gonna be in line, I'm gonna be in the shade. Because at this point, it was like noon and it was blazing hot. So I got in the single rider line, and when I got in the line, I was there maybe 10 minutes or so, and I was talking to some people in front of me and, you know, conversing with them, and then the ride broke down. It was like, I'm sorry, the ride's no longer working at this moment. There's gonna be a delay. We don't know how long it's gonna be. A lot of people got out of line, walked out and left, which allows me and everybody else to move forward. And then I realized I needed to use the restroom. My giant coffee was going through me. And being a single rider and needing to go to the restroom, you can lose your place in line. Luckily, I did strike up the conversation with the people in front of me, and I was like, I said, I'm sorry, I need to use the restroom. Can you like be my placeholder and let me get back in line behind you? And they're like, sure, you know. That way, if anyone tries to be like, oh, you can't get back in line, I'll be like, I have a party up ahead. I'm part of that party. So I got out of line, went back out, used the restroom. When I tried to get back in, they had the ride completely shut down. Like, they weren't letting anybody else in. And I said, I'm sorry, I got out to use the restroom. My party is back inside. So they were able to let me back in. And then for the next hour, I sat in line, and I mean, I was expecting a long wait time to begin with. That's not the problem. The problem is it broke down 3 more times. They would get it fixed, and we would move forward a little bit, and then they'd say it broke down again. More people would get out of line, being frustrated. We'd move forward, and then they'd get it fixed and repeat. But I stuck with it, and overall, it did take me an hour and 20 minutes to get onto the ride. The ride's a little shaky. You know, I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be, you know, a little wobbly, you know, because the track is broken and you're supposed to jump the track and everything. I get that. But, like, my knees were banging up against the metal between the seats. Yeah. So, the rides I've had were a little disappointing today. After I did the minecart ride, I noticed that I had enough time to walk across the park and get there in plenty of time for the show at How to Train Your Dragon, which is the Untrainable Dragon show. I got there in plenty of time. Now the tip for that one is, of course, you do want to get there early and, you know, stake your claim, because once they get to capacity, they won't let anyone else in. Also, once you get inside, sit as far back as you can. It's like auditorium seating. Sit as far back as you can, because then you'll get to see more. Trust me. It's a very well done show, just like the Cirque Arcanu. They're both Broadway level shows. I mean, just the set pieces, the music, everything. Honestly, my favorite part was there was a kid sitting next to me, and to see his face with all the dinosaur or the dragons and stuff, he was just so over the top, and it was so cute. But right now I am about to go into the Atlantic. I have a reservation for dinner at 4:30, and I'm about to go into the Atlantic and eat dinner, and then hopefully do some of the night stuff, because I didn't get to do too much at night last night, but we shall see.